The session of today. So our session of today is about selecting and onboarding my LCVPs. So people, if you are here, I guess most probably you guys are the people who haven't have your LCVP, right? But don't worry for that, because this session is not going to solve all of your problem now. And also, yeah, and if you have selected the full team, yeah, you can still be here, but I will suggest you can ask to go to, if you have your full team already, you can actually go to another track. There's a track about playing team string, if I didn't remember wrong.
Yeah. Oh, just sorry, quickly. Will it be like, will the onboarding part be relevant, or do you think it's not enough for me if the other one's better?
I think it's not the major part of it, like 1/3. Okay. So
Okay.
I would
All right.
suggest
Cool.
you go to another track. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
No worries.
okay.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, I'm kicking out delegate from my room. I'm sorry for that. Okay. But hi guys, welcome to the session for selecting and onboarding with my LCVPs. Okay. So I hope you will enjoy the session. And if you're the right people, I hope you stay here with me. Okay. So then, looking into here, right? So let me introduce myself. My name is Phylias. I'm the current regional manager of OGX. In 2020, I was the last and only unique RMGE in 1920. Yeah, so I was RMGE last year. So back before, I was MCP and MCVP in Myanmar, and the older year before, I was still studying, I was LCVP OGV and marketing in PolyU, Hong Kong. So I'm actually coming from Hong Kong. So nice to meet you guys. Okay, so the session I didn't put a lot in terms of topics, but then we will go deeper into it. Only 3 parts: burning questions, selections, and also final tips. Okay, but then do expect one thing is this session may be also okay, expectation setting. All right, cool. So go back to the conference behavior just to remind that these are the regional behaviors that your MCP set. But what I want you guys to have is this is a space that you're going to a lot of time to share and reflect. Okay, so I really hope you guys can be proactive. Otherwise, it will be very boring, because if you don't talk, then there's nothing happen. Okay. Secondly is also about if you, it will be great you have somewhere to journal that. If you a person like pen and paper, take a notebook for it, take a paper for it. Or if you're a person that you journaling also on laptop as well, then it's also okay. Okay. Secondly is take ownership. So really enjoy the experience of learning, and also I hope in the coming time when you share in front of plenary, you can say, okay, I'm Phylias from LC PolyU of Hong Kong. So I will know where you're coming from, and you can represent your entity. Okay. And last but not least, also about being open-minded to new ideas and also adaptable to change as well. So these are a few expectation setting with you guys. Now we are going into the first part of it, which is the burning question. Okay. With this, right, it's the time actually for us to talk. What I want you guys to have is, I guess if you are in this section, this will be your most burning question at the moment. Okay. What is your main issues in terms of getting an LCPP? Okay. So what I would suggest you do is, like in yesterday, you guys were in the workshop for root cause analysis, right? So you have practiced about 5 why. So I want you guys to have 3 minutes to knock down and do one time of 5 why root cause analysis, and trying to measure what is your main issues when you getting your when you try to get your LCPP. Okay, so I will give you guys 3 minutes time. Let's start it first. Okay? I will play some nice song. Anyone say anything? Okay. Tup, 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 tup. done, then you can type in the chat box, so I will know that you are done. Okay, amazing. So I see most of you guys have done already. That's really cool. So what I will do is, I know you have a lot of worry. That's the most worrying things that you have in your life right now, which you don't have your team, which I have encountered that before. So before we're going to anything about very technical stuff, I would like you guys to have space to share with each other, as well as talking to each other to see any things that you guys can figure out solution together or advising each other. So what I will do is I will put you guys into breakout room, and uh you guys will have 8 minutes time to talk to each other. Is it cool for everyone? Anyone is not clear? Okay, everyone clear, right? Okay, cool. So if you're not clear, you can tell me. Thanks. Okay, amazing. So see you guys after 8 minutes. Bye. Go to your room. Okay. Yes. Now, in here, I want to have one sharing. Okay, not more than two. Anyone want to share, like, after talking to your friends, like, how do you feel right now? What are the issues, and like personally, how do you feel about it right now? Anyone want to share? Yes. Okay. Okay. Let's have Javer and then Rivera. Okay, another two. Today I have so many sharing. So you next time come faster. Okay, the first two from
So yeah,
yes.
so I was in a breakout room with Zo from Myanmar and Sachini from Sri Lanka, and we all realized that there was this one common problem that we all had, was that people are unsure how they will balance their personal life, their academics, anything else that they're pursuing, along with a VP role. I think that was a very common misconception, and I think it's more this year because things have been virtual and everyone has been working from home. So they felt like, and they thought that the previous, like us as EV members, we didn't showcase that we were balancing it really well. So that was definitely an issue. And the second thing was that they don't see themselves fit for the role because of the fact that maybe they feel like they lack the kind of competency. And when I was also doing a sort of a root cause analysis, and I think it came down to the fact that they think they don't have practical experiences this year because of, let's say, the pandemic and virtual terms. So that was a really, really interesting discussion that we had as well. And that what I really got to know was that all of us are facing very similar issues irrespective of wherever we are, right? Because of whatever happens. And I think that keeps on throughout the conference, that's kept on surprising me for sure, right?
I see. Cool. Amazing. Nice to hear about it. That's good. You find peers and you know that you're not alone. But I hope today's workshop can answer your questions. Okay. So the next one is Rivera. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at names.
It's okay. Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Rivera and I'm from LC Hanoi in Vietnam. And I have just a very meaningful discussion with my buddies, and we share different problems regarding LCVP selection. My problem was that I do not have enough pipeline, do not have people applying for LCVP, while my friends from Sri Lanka, he has a problem that he has too many people applying for LCVP. But yeah, while discussing, we think one of the uncommon, like one thing we can do together to solve both issues is that we have to be more careful with our selection process, and we have to pick people that like we have to come up with a very detailed questionnaire in order to judge them both, like about their attitude, their mindset, and their skill, in order to know which person we will pick for the position, and also which person who can be referred to be in charge of the function that they are not coming from, but still they can be able to do the job. In my case, that there is not no one applying for one position and too many people applying for another position. And also for people who have like 20, 25 candidates. Based on the questionnaire, they can, in the interview process, they can point out who will be the, like the most suitable person for the team and the most suitable person for the function as well. So that is what we have been discussing, and I am open to receive more advice on this problem also. So thank you.
I see. Thank you so much for sharing. I really love two of your sharing. That's really, really cool. And I think I agree with that with this situation, like we will always ask, right? Do they really learn or do they really improve or anything else? And I agree with you, all of you guys, that like I think that was also a time that I was asking myself, like, do I really need to be regional manager at this time when you don't even have exchange much happening? What is the purpose of having a regional manager here, right? I agree with all of you, and I think this question, I don't think it's only members have it. No matter you are LCVP, your LCP, your TLs, your MC, your like region, like us regional manager, you will also ask the same question as well. But then I agree with that is like some people, like what you say, you have more candidate, maybe you can try to get someone from Sri Lanka. Okay, just kidding. But then because it's LC, you cannot. Okay, but then like you also have people who don't have enough applicants, and which I have experienced both of them as well. So that's why here also today I will give you some more tips about it as well. But before we go on it, let's brief. Okay, don't make this session too heavy, and when you leave the session you cry and you give negative feedback, then in the feedback form, then I will feel sad for it. Okay. So, but then I think I screenshot some of the response from GES. I don't know, do you know it or not? Like Global Engagement Survey. I guess most of you have filled in before. You can see actually in here, there's a chart. One thing very special, and most of them are quite aligned, is you can see the things that people highlight the most are personal development and also leadership development. And if you see in the EB role itself as well, a lot of us, like both like previous ISAC or current, like they will also see that, okay, personal development is one of the top priority as EB. And if you're seeing that like leadership development, for sure, that's not something that we can compromise because that's what we are here for in ISAC, okay? But then I will have two questions challenge you, which I think is quite relevant to what Jay Verse like mentioned before, is about whether the first one is whether we have enough do they really have proper experience for that? If you look back, is it because we really didn't have a change, that's why they don't develop personally and they don't develop in leadership? Or is it in the past that we don't have enough debrief for people to understand how much they have grown up from this challenging environment? And I can even tell that how much time in the world you have pandemic happen, less than 10, like less than your 10 fingers. But then did we really recap their experience to understand how much they have gone through and what are the things they learn from? And the things they learn from may not be same as before, like maybe I don't sales, marketing, when there's a change happen, but I'm sure there's something else that is that they are learning. And do we do really proper recap for it? This will be the first things I want you guys to explore if you're going back home to talk to people. The second one will be about personal development and leadership development, which means for EB itself, you as I guess most of you were previous EB as well. I know some of you may not, but then ask, right? Did we really showcase the experience as EB? What have you learned? Did you really let them to understand it? If not, that's the first thing when you go back home, you need to do. Okay, you don't need to go back home because you're at home already, but that's the things after conference you need to do, okay? So then, and here I will talk about something that a bit more technical and I want to share with you guys. So I want to share with you guys about the development of the evolution of talent development. I'm not sure you guys heard about before. So actually there's three parts of it. In the very, very old time, we have human resources. What does it mean, human resources? It means we treat human as a resources, like an object. And what we're focusing on is getting the right resources in order to help us to achieve. But then looking into as a person, right? That means we are not focusing on their development. We are only focusing to get the right person to help us to perform. And then that's why people doesn't work, performance doesn't come, and we start looking into talent management, which means we manage those people as talent. And as a talent, you can see talents are the people who process skills, and that's why we provide a lot of training, education, like all these things in order to help them to improve. But what's happening is after you train up those people, they will leave, right? Do you guys agree with me? If yes, then you can type yes in the chat. I guess most of you guys will see like, yeah, we train for a good member, you know, afterward they leave us, they don't stay anymore. Because when we look into it, yes, we improve them a lot, but then they are good enough already. That's why they will have better option, and that's why they will leave ISAC. So that's why you can see people actually evolve again, especially in HR industry. That's why a lot of people start talking about people management, because people actually are the people who have qualities, have thoughts, and have feeling. So besides developing them, it's also very important for us to take into consideration whether we are optimizing the environment to let them to perform and let them feel comfortable and loyal to stay inside of the organization. So these are the questions I will question you guys. How was it like in the past, like 10 months when you are LCVP, or maybe you are TLs, like being LCP? How was it? And actually it's same as how we managing the whole TM processes, getting the right people, developing them with skills, with like provide them training. And at the end, did we really do well in terms of managing the environment to let them to be encouraged, be recognized, and that's why they want to stay in the organization. And yeah, so these are my questions for you. How was it in the last 9 months? I hope you have an answer for yourself. And looking into it, this is the whole thing is a cycle. So getting the right people, it helps you to easier to develop them. And when you develop them better, it's also easier to recognize them. And that's why it's the whole cycle. And if you want to fix this issue, I tell you, it will not totally fix just because you are here in this space, but it takes you the whole process in your whole LCP term, just looking into it, including the experience of members and TLs. And I'm not going to go deep on how to doing this part, but I would strongly suggest you to go to the keynotes tomorrow with Xiao Mei. So she will talk about key leadership pipeline succession, and I think that was a really great keynote, and I strongly suggest you guys to go. But today we're going to look into something more short term, and we are actually more manageable. So the last tip for you guys is, I think this is one sharing from MCP of Malaysia. So he was talking about like, in order to have people to progress, it's not about how many times you talk to them, but then whether you have the meaningful conversation to understand them, why they need to be here, or they understand like why they need to apply for higher role. Okay. So I hope you guys are clear. Now I will speed it up a bit because we're going to the main content about gap processes for LCVP. So in here, I will go through 3 parts of it, okay, including before, that means preparation, during, that means selection, after, that means onboarding, okay? So it will be look like a LCVP clash course. So I hope you will enjoy the intensity of having many information coming in, because afterward, you're going to discuss about. So for preparation, I'm not sure how did your preparation go. Like, how about you guys type in the chat box? How did you do preparation before you go to open your application and going through selection? What did you guys prepare? So you can type in your chat. Application, okay. Do an application and ask people to fill it in, right? Any more? Persona, whoa, good job. TM, is it? Are you from TM? Application design, process design, lead session, alumni talk, application structure. Okay, cool. Yeah, mostly lah. Okay, so I will also explain a bit in terms okay, understand competency and require. Okay, that's also very important too. But then I will have a check-in with you guys. Okay, I will give you guys a pool. Okay, so I want to know, imagine now you're going to supermarket, which type of person you are. Are you the first type that you actually will have a list? Okay, I have something I want to buy. That's why I go to the supermarket and buy. Or you will be like the kids who just go into the supermarket and wondering whatever you have and just get them onto the bucket. Okay, so let's see how did you guys buy stuff. Huh? Okay, So you buy with, oh, okay, that's enhanced. Okay. Okay, that's a good way to see where delegates are still alive or not, because I can see people voting. That's good. Okay, any more people haven't voted? I see 68% right now. That means 68%. Okay, 75% of delegates are still alive. Okay, any more? Okay, 82. Okay, let's see. Anyone haven't decided? Okay, good. I have 82% of delegates are still alive. That's cool. It's a good KPI. Okay, you see half, right? Actually, like slightly a bit for the one who have a checklist. But also I understand people will enjoy the process to going to shopping, you know, without thinking about, because it's a really good experience. Okay, I didn't share. Okay, so you can see the result here. Okay. Yeah, so you can see mostly people are 1, and then, but actually more or less are the same. Okay. So why I want to talk to you guys about this is because I want to bring in the concept about proactive and reactive. Okay. So if you are the people who, okay, it's not about good or bad. Actually, both of them are great. Like in different scenarios, you have different, and it depends on what experience or what things you're expecting, right? So usually for people that who list it out are the people who actually more proactive, because they kind of know, okay, this is what I want, and that's why I go for it, right? But then also there are some people that, you know, like go with the flow, go into the supermarket, get whatever you want, and then you can go back home and think about how to do it afterward. Okay, so this is about like behavior, and what I want to talk to you guys is about the way you do preparation for LCPP candidate. There's also 2 approaches as well. So one approach is proactively, which means those people, you will ask those people to prepare before they go to selection. While there's another way is, okay, open the application, get whatever, like whatever you have right now. Okay, just come and see how far you can go. Okay, how far you can go. Yeah. Okay. So that's why I was ask you guys to think more a bit, like which approach are you using right now? Okay. So I will highlight a bit what is the difference of these 2 in terms of like when is the time you're going to use it. So the first one is based on the applicant's behavior. So if they are more motivated, or there's another scenario I've encountered when I was MC, is people just stop learning after they get the role. So that's why I always use a proactive approach to prepare them before they come to selection. And but then if your current situation is, I don't have a lot of people that are really strongly motivated or very committed. Okay, no matter what, I want to apply for LCVP. It's painful, even I need to study a lot, but it's okay, I will still go for it. Then you can actually okay to go with reactive approach as well. And it also depends on number of applicants. If you have more applicants, which means you have more option, right? Then why not to ask them to prepare? And that's why you have better assessment going with it. While if you don't have much applicant, that means you don't have much choice. And at the end of the day, you still need to figure out who are the people you will get them on board to go with you in the coming 1 year journey, right? So it's not about choosing a lot, but it's about like how you're using the process to help them to learn as well. So this will be the 2 approach, and this is how commonly people choose, but it's not the only way that you're choosing it. And in terms of the pros and cons, the good thing about the proactive is usually people are more ready to be LCPP, and they have a right expectation setting when they're applying for it. So it will be easier for you to assess their ability, because they kind of know, okay, how, what I'm having, they have most of the thing ready already. While for reactive, mostly are assessed based on the potential, and also you will have higher conversion rate usually, but then it's also based on the potential as well. While the cons will be about, if you want to use proactive approach, you need to do a lot of preparation, which means you need to ask your current EP, for example, start doing transition before the selection, so people will know about the role and start learning about it already. And it may also be a stressful process for them to learn as well in a very quick time. So it very depends. While for reactive, mostly is you need to do a lot of follow-up to capacity building them, and also make sure the selection process can help you to see whether the applicants have a right expectation or not. Yeah. So here are some of the examples I've done. So for me, actually, I never used reactive before, so I only have proactive approach to share with you guys. So you guys can go check again later. But for us, like for me, when I was MC, what we do is like we have knowledge hub for people to study, including EB mindset, like team leaders role, because they are leading team, right? They need to understand the LC history, so they also have the charge report, like, and some transition framework about some topics they need to know before they apply as well. So we put them a list there. And when I was LC, we also have some consultancy space for people to to ask or have some workshop for them to practice as well. So these are some of the example. Okay, I hope everyone is clear. Okay, because now we're going to the next part, we will have more discussion space, and I hope you guys can be more proactive because I have less pool, but we have less discussion space. For selection, I will break it into two parts. One is about criteria and one is about process. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions, you can type it there, okay? So I can also answer you as well, okay? So I'll break it down into two parts. So first of all, any one of you came to APC about there's a session about working with my EB. It was delivered by me to anyone was there? If no, you can type no. Oh, it's also okay. I just want to check. No, right? Okay, no one type it. I assume no, so I will go very slowly for this one. So anyone know about what is this? Okay, I was in APC. Okay, good. Saro. Okay. Okay. Hey, no one knows. No one study engineering or physics. You know it, right? Okay, try to. Oh, you remember. Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay, put your hand in front of your face right now. Okay, like this. Okay. Yeah, left hand rules. Okay, good. Okay, good job, good job. Finally, there's people to remember what is that. Yeah, we talk about like Fleming's like left hand rule. Okay, so when you're looking into it, it's actually a 3D relationship to explain force, electromagnetism. Yeah, so it's about electricity times magnet times force. But actually, you may ask, what is this and why you talking about this? It was the same in APC, we were talking about it, right? And how does it relate to the session itself, okay? If you don't like it, I'm sorry, okay? But I'm not going to talk about physics here. But I want to use the same approach, okay? Keep your hands up, okay? Put it in front of you so you will not fall in asleep. Okay, yeah, let's rock. Okay, no, just kidding. Okay, so like we were talking about the role itself, right? So you can see actually as a role of LCVPs, more or less same as before we talk about is there's a role called LCVP role and there's a role called EB role, okay? So in the role itself, like you have a 2D matrix, right? And this is actually like your LC, okay? So these are the two roles for LCVP and EB. And then actually there's a 3D, which means if you look into MC perspective, every 2D dimension is like 2D is LC, then you have many LCs, right? So that's why actually another role is about the national leadership body, which means the commission, okay? How they represent themselves inside of the commission, because you know about it's actually the role of commission is not only about your MCVP managing your LCVP. It doesn't look like this. It's also about how they can speak up for your LC in front of the national plenary and speaking on behalf of the interest of the function in your LC and reflect it to the MC as well. So these are the actually 3 roles that they need to take into consideration, okay? I put it here. And personally, I think when I was doing selection, I think EB role is the most important. And then you will come into LC and then come into national leadership body. But I think it depends on you. But that's personally how I think EB role is the most important one. And that's what we strongly screening through when we have people, okay? So afterward, based on these 3 roles, you're going to map out their knowledge, skills, and attitude like just now, Riverna like talk about like yeah, so about like you need to map out each role, what are the knowledge, skill set, and attitude that you have. And then here are some of the example. When I was MC, we have a framework to select EB as well. We standardize across LC. So here are some of the example. The left hand side one is more about like national leadership body and also EB role, and then the right hand side will be based on the function and also the personal characteristic and personal leadership to screen through it. So then the next question I want to ask you guys is about what kind of profile are you actually looking for? Did you approach it in the past? Did you approach everyone in the past? And do you have anyone that are missing? And any suggestions that you have for each other? So it will be the same. I will put you guys into breakout room. So I sent the question there in the chat already, so you can download it as well. So I will give you guys, let's have 8 minutes time. You guys talk to each other. And I really hope you guys to reflect, okay, based on these 3 roles, understand that do you actually have a solid persona in front of your eyes right now? And do you actually approach everyone that who fit with this persona? And look into it, is the persona is not about setting how much high criteria that you want to have. You need to know, unless you're applying for president inside of the country, there's no perfect candidate, okay? But then just think about what is the most important you think they should have, and you need you will want to see them and how much you'll tell them through right now. Okay, so I will let you guys think a bit first while I am working on the breakout room. Okay, wait, breakout here. So now you guys have 8 minute time. You guys can talk to each other. Okay, still the same group. Okay, if you are okay for that. Okay, bye guys. Come first serve. Okay, I see one time. Yeah, I would like to share. Yeah, you can share. Kiro.
Hello.
Oh yes, can. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Your name and your LC. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't have time. Shall I share?
Yeah. Your name and your LC.
Yeah, I'm Kirul and I'm from Sri Lanka. Isaac in Slit.
Okay, cool. You can share now.
Yeah, actually, we had a great discussion regarding this, and like we had a same kind of, sorry about the noises. We had a same expectation. Like we want LCVPs to be more strategical, proactive, and they should be able like strategical and data driven, and also they should be able to take the ownership. Like one of the other thing we discussed was like some of them are coming to the position like thinking that they have learned enough, and they are just here to lead everyone, but we should be able to give them the idea, like before they get elected, like we should be able to advise them about like there's a big learning curve ahead of them, like there's more to learn, and it's all about learning. And also there should be a great all of them should be able to have a good all of them should be great team players, because all the teams should be bonded, and there should be a great synergy. So then only like we can have a good synergy within the team, and we can face any crisis ahead of us. Yeah, those are things we discussed.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the summary. That's really nice to hear about Kuro. Okay, I hope I pronounced it well. Okay, what is one Tifshi? Are you?
I'm here.
Oh,
We
okay.
actually we type 1, 2, 3 for the order of sharing. So I was
okay. So okay, you can share.
Cool. So hi guys, I'm Twishi. I'm from Ahmedabad in India. And I think, so when we were talking about what kind of things you want to look for in our EV members, we looked at different avenues. So first was definitely about, how their team experience have been so far in the LC and how have they contributed to the LC. Other than that, we also looked at, certain contextual skills in terms of, like, for example, in the coming year, we'll need people who are more resilient and creative, because this is a period where we have to experiment different things. So we need people who are able to not give up very easily. And we also try to understand, for example, we'll need people on the EB who are able to compensate for skills that we don't have. So for example, if I'm someone who's very creative and random, I would need someone who is very analytical and consistent in the work, because I'm not very consistent as a leader. So, and then we also discussed how maybe, certain psychometric tools can help us figure out what a person can bring on what to the team. So we looked at this about the personality that they hold, what can they contribute, what kind of skills do they have, how resilient are they, and what value systems they hold. So we looked at these different avenues in terms of figuring out what kind of a team we would require in the next 1 year. So yeah, thank you so much.
I see. Cool. That's a nice summary. Cool, cool, cool. That's really amazing. So thank you guys for sharing. Okay, for Raveen. Okay, next time, I know it's the second time, sorry. I'm sorry. Next time I will put you on the top list. Okay. So okay. So yeah. So then thank you so much for you guys sharing. For me, I mean, I have a set of criteria when we were in MC, like when I was in Myanmar, I do it with the LC together. But then I think just now when you guys answering and when you discuss with each other, you kind of have all of the criteria that you have already. And I really hope that you guys can leverage the space with your other LCP pips here to learn about like what are the criteria you want to set. And I think most of you guys talk about the most is about the criteria itself. But one reminder I really want you guys to look into is also about like whether you have those talents inside of your pool right now. When you talk about all those criteria, you have your notebooks here, right? Look at your criteria right now. Can you see faces in that? I don't know, like, do you see any face in your LC that you think, when I see this, it reminds me this person? Okay, I see some of you have yes, right? Yeah. So I hope you have you at least have a face on that. That's why yeah, but if you don't have, which means maybe my assumption is not you don't have it, it's maybe you don't understand the everyone in your LC enough. And if you currently lack of applicant, my call to action for you is really go to approach these people, or if you don't know about it, like talk to more people and see like, okay, these are the people I'm looking for. Do you have any suggestions? Maybe the current LCVP in other function, they actually have more understanding on the members and they can give you better perspective for it. So really try to take the conversation forward with your LC together, and it will help you a lot to map out the talents that you need. So the next part is also still selection criteria, but then it will be another part of it that I would like to share with you guys. It is about, I think you guys see about it before, it's about the iceberg theory, right? So when you make a decision, it's actually the tip of the iceberg, but then when you make a decision, there's a lot of things below it, and one of them is value. So that's why now I will give you another reflective time, because we're going to talk about selected team based on your values, okay? Based on the values you want to uphold. But then the first thing I want you guys to brainstorm, okay, I think let's have 3 minutes now. We don't have a lot of time. But then I want you to think about what was the 5 most critical time in your last LCVP experience or TL experience, the current experience that you're having right now, the most challenging decision that you have made. Like, what is the critical time? Like, maybe, for example, when COVID comes, for example, I don't know. So think about it, which is the top 5 most one, okay? So I will play a song, okay? guys done? If done, you can type in the chat box. Okay? So I will know. Okay, I hope you guys have it. If no, it's okay. I think it takes time. Maybe at least you have free. It's okay. But then what I want to do with you guys is the last selection criteria is based on, like, besides all those operation things, I want to talk about with you is about the team. Because at the end of the day, your team, if you need to make decision together, you need to have like the collective values that you are looking for. So as an LCP, actually you may ask about is, okay, I need to find people that who are valued aligned with me. And that's why our EP team can make a decision easier together, right? And I mean, everyone in terms of characteristic, they may be different, but there may be some values that you want the team to make it together. So what I will do is I will give you guys to go to this sheet, okay? I'm sorry. Hey, where's that? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Cool. So then, like, what I want you guys to do is you can go to this sheet, okay? And then you can actually find it. I guess this one. Yes, you will go to a sheet like this, okay? What I want you to do is duplicate one for yourself, okay? For example, I'm Phylias from PolyU, for example. Typo. And then, like, what you can do is I want you guys to, put your name, put your question there. And what you can do is you can expand the box there. So in here, these are all the management values that we have. And then, like, what I suggest you guys to do is among these 55, I want you to reflect on, okay, based on these questions that you have before, the time you make critical decision, what are the values that you want to have in order to make such decision? And you're going to eliminate, okay, this one, if it's not really relevant, then you can just, delete it if that's not what you want. And then you minimize all of them and you stay last three, okay? So I will give you guys 2 minutes time to work on that, okay? Anyone is not clear? You clear, right? You can change the name and then start, doing it. So type down your questions and then expand the box and then start deleting the values that you think is not relevant for making decision as an EB team, okay? So keep it with 3, okay? Let's play some music. Just now there's a guy. Okay, no one wants to share this time. Anyone want to share? Can I go? Yes, can. Oh my god, you guys are so nice. Vikum.
Hi guys, I'm Vikum from Isaac in Jawadharapura from Sri Lanka. So we when we talked about management values, so we had Rivera from Vietnam and I from Sri Lanka in our breakout room. So Rivera wanted all the values in here, and yeah. So what we discussed was that most of these are like very important, and like it's really good if we can find people who would have like at least most of them, I guess. And when it comes to EB experience, critical time to make decision in last EB experience, so we talked about like, so Rivera brought up this point, major changes in HR. So when that happens, like you have to adjust everything, right? Like when people leave or resign, everything has to change and we have to adapt to that. And again, critical time to make the biggest decision this term was COVID. So I think that should be there as well. So everything, literally everything changed the way we worked. And one other thing was product changes. So like when global teacher was introduced, I think most of us had to change the way our EB and our membership work to adapt to that. So
Okay.
I think
because I want to ask you a question. So just now you were saying like product change, all those stuff. So based on that, which one value that you think is the most important one in order to cope with this change?
From values?
Yeah. So in this list, choose one that you think like your team need to have in order to cope with the change.
Flexibility, I guess.
Yes. Okay, cool. So what I want to highlight is like I know that all of the values are really good, but then also understand in another way is it's a bit hard for us to have all the values, but then the idea is about usually collectively maximum from what I coach like MC like planning or replanning or even my team as well, maximum there will be only 3. Okay. So the task about what itself is you need to be prioritized. You need to find out what is the most important 1 or even 3. And the importance about value is not about living up all of them. It's about your EB team, whether they can live up the value, make decision and drive the action and let your LC able to witness it. Because that's how you're transmitting values from EB level going to members level, okay? And that's why your whole LC will going together. So that's why it's very important when you're going to decide, you need to pick the most important 3 values that are going to help you to make decision based on that. And if based on your case, for example, the struggles that you have before, I can see that flexibility is one of the most important one, cope with the situation you have before, right? Then maybe flexibility is one of the values that you want to see your team have, and you were going to selecting people also have flexibility as well, right? Yeah. So then that would be my suggestions. Okay. Since I don't have much time, I'm sorry for that. And I don't want to overrun a lot, but if you want to share, I'm really happy to stay afterward, but I don't want to cut too much on your break. So I will go for it. But yeah, I think this is the one that if you don't have a concrete one, it's okay. Oh yeah, you can also type in the chat if you want to share, if I don't have time for you. So thanks for sharing I cannot read your name, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, like really, you can share in the chat or you can stay behind and share. And I want you guys to think about is value is the most important things, like when you have when you work with people, because value decides your actions, value decides your behavior. And if you see a lot of things, if your LC right now have a lot of issues that you think that are not good enough, and ask yourself why, like what are the values, what are the decisions you make, that's why your LC's members, they have such behavior. And looking into this decision, what are the values that you have right now? That's why you make such decision before, okay? So this will be the part that I really want you guys to think about. No one is sucks, like, okay? But just to let you know, like, everyone are unique and they are different. So maybe you can also think about getting a person that who are accountable, but there will be specific values on it, but not the common values, okay? So disclaimer, the next part I'm going to talk about is about process. So if you have MC that have a process for you already, go with the one that your MC have. But if you don't have, I will slightly go for it. So the first one is about selection touch points. So now we have all of the criteria set before, right? Then we look into is what are the touch points that we have in order to assess it. So mostly all of you guys, I guess you have application and you have interview, right? So usually what happening with application is about, okay, you test the knowledge, you test how much they have prepared and see like their understanding. And for interview, it will be a bit different because you will still ask question, right? But what's different from the question in application is about mostly you're testing the instant reaction, the behaviors and conceptual thought process as well. So that's why it's very important for you guys to think about, okay, actually, if one of the assessment you want to see is whether this person have a stress management, is good at stress management or not. When I was EB before, what we do is we will shape the interview environment to be a bit more intense. So I will see how they react in the interview when they are under a stress situation for it. So you can also be flexible on it. But another thing I want to share with you guys is about Bloom's taxonomy, this hierarchy. So it's about how people understanding different information. And I used it a lot when we selecting EB as well. So what I suggest minimum, at least like you need to get people who are able to analyze. That is the minimum for a VP role. And ideally, there should be people who can evaluate and create. And you may ask, like, how I can assess it? That will say, ask more follow-up questions to understand the thought process and see how they come up with conclusion and also how they creating solution. This will be the tips for interview. And if you want to know more about the resources, about criteria that I showed you before, about like some interview tools that we have, you can find all of them here, the resources. And after you're selecting everyone, the most important part is about feedback, okay? So here a quote I really like a lot is one of my LCP taught me when I was MCP. Feedback is the breakfast of champion, okay? So it is actually very important because like for the people who pass it, it's actually to let them to know, okay, what are the things they are not enough, and that's why they can further improve it, right? And they can learn it if they are selected. And for the people who are failed, it's also very important as well because it's actually for them to understand what are the things that they are insufficient, and it gives them courage. Okay, I know I'm not enough, but then what are the things I can further improve? So that's why I can be a better candidate, or I will apply other leadership role in the future. So that's why it's very important. And here are some of the examples that we have, like when it comes to feedback, like usually we will put details, objective of the screening. We have pre-screening and post-screening, by the way. We have criteria, explanation, scoring, and then we will give appreciation and also room for improvement. And last but not least is about the result, okay? So if in the past you only just give a result, okay, that's not helping people to learn, okay? So make sure you give proper feedback, fair and constructive. Last but not least is about onboarding. So I want to share with you guys, onboarding is actually one of the most important process because you may have O2O transition, you may have team-to-team transition. So this is what we're having in our RO team. But besides the checklist that your MC gives to you, the most important thing is you also need to customize your transition based on the feedback. For example, if you know, okay, my successor, like, I mean, your other EB know that, okay, maybe that candidate, they are not good enough or in data management, then you will give more support with them in terms of data management, right? So always take the last one about the feedback, the most very important, and bring it towards the onboarding process. So that's why you can capacity building for the your people. And then the last, and then here is also a framework I really like a lot. It's about the transfer of the responsibility. So you can see actually there are two triangles. This one is predecessor and this one is successor. Transition is actually an experience, but more than a checklist. So in the beginning, most of people, they will do knowledge sharing. Okay, this is how I do, like, you know, these are things you need to take care, blah, 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 blah. But then actually, besides that, there will still be a part of shadowing. That means you do it and then they observe how you do it. And then afterward, they can start practicing it, which is they are the one who start doing it and you are the one who observe and give feedback. And the last one way is about just feedbacking on it. So actually, transition is also an experience as well. And it really shapes how people can learn better. Just imagine if you're going into the lecture room in your school, how much things you really learn, you can use it in the end. You just, because you mostly just sit here and listen, right? And you directly do it when you go to find job, right? So that's why it's very important. You need to have the shift of responsibility to let people gradually learn for it. Okay. Yeah, usually people jump from the top to the end. And here are some of the resources. For example, I think if you went to Connie's session yesterday, then you will see the booklet before already. And this is the one that we do transition camp for LC and nationally when we are MC together. So you can also refer to that. So to recap, these are the 3 things we talk about before, during, and after. So to remind the whole things again, timeline is the most important thing, because if you're late for your term, you have failed already. And I will tell you why. You will start your term in February, right? And then what's going on before is you're going to team members recruitment, team leaders recruitment. And at the same time, if you want to recruit team leader and onboard them, you also need to introduce, okay, this is our plan of the LC, that's what's going on, blah, 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 right? So that's why they will have a better expectation. And before that, before your plan presentation, you need to have LC planning. And before your LC planning, you need to have transition, right? And then before you have transition, you need to select the VP first, okay? So if you can see, actually the timeline is very tight and you only have around 3 weeks left. So I really strongly suggest you like grab your time, put your shit together and make it happen, okay? That's what I want to tell you guys. Okay, and there's also MC planning to prepare your LC planning as well, okay? So here to recap, like these are the things that I would suggest you guys to do. Review your current support with your current EB right now. If you don't have enough people, ask them what they are doing. Mostly it's because they are not playing their role to find their successor, okay? Secondly, understand your role expectation and criteria. What are the things is really non-negotiable? And what are the things actually you can develop it if you really don't have candidate afterward? Like you can focus on the development part. And also review the selection process, whether they're able to assess the criteria that you have set. And now it should be the time to start coordinate transition, because your current team will be, you know, like there's almost end of my term, I'm going to run away. Okay, I guess that. Okay, so coordinate them well. Okay, and then last but not least is about map out the selection and onboarding timeline. Don't late. Okay, I really suggest you don't late. My term late when I was MCP, I struggle a lot, I can tell you. So the final tips I want to share with you guys about the story. So this is my plenary before I leave Myanmar. So maybe you see them before. So one of them is actually the CC, this guy, okay? So these are all the people I have been sitting in the LCP election. I have been sitting them when they were LCVP selection. And I can tell you that actually the selection process is very important, because that's the part that how they learn. Don't take the process as a way to process to get a person, like you getting your human resources to achieve your term, but it's actually a learning journey to develop them and setting a right expectation. So that's why you can shape a better environment to them. And I can tell you that if you do it right, you will see pipeline happen. Really, these are all the people that they are progressing, except this girl who didn't progress after MCPPTM, but I think she returned for LCVP. But all other people, they progressed. Everyone, my team, like these are my 2 successors, like MCP last year and MCP this year of Myanmar. People who progress into other like entity for MC, and all of them are applying for higher role. And I can tell you that the whole process, the most important thing is starting from getting them on board with us together as a national leadership body, or getting them as EB in the team. They kind of aware about already what are the things that they need to learn, and how and what are the things that they can expect from their learning journey. So I really strongly suggest you take this not only a process for you to get the people, but take it as the learning process. I know feedback takes a lot of time. Creating those reports, I want to kill everyone, sending those emails, but then it's actually helping them to learn and improve as well. So really take into consideration. Second thing I want to show you guys is this is the time 2 years ago when I was in APLS. My team is actually getting an award together as best entity in group 4. And I can tell you that you may ask, right, is this like, you know, like you have 2 guys around you, and I can tell you that's all of my team. That's all. I only have 2 MCPP when I was MCP. And back before when I was MCPP, I don't even have MCP, and I only have me and another girl in the MC team. But at the end of the day, we can still getting award, and we can still standing in front of the regional plenary. And what I want to tell you is, it's not about how many people you get, but it's about whether you get the right people or not. Less is more. I also have people getting afterward. I get 2 more, and then at the end of the day, one of them leave before the term start, and one of them stay and return. So my whole MC term is never about having a very big team. It's always smaller than my LC term. But then having these people, let me have the good assessment to understand what is their strength and how I can play their strength well is actually the most important things, to play with the cards that you have and how you win the game. So I strongly encourage you, if right now you tell me I don't have enough people, you know, I'm fucking up right now, and I'm so worried for it, I can tell you that don't worry for it. I was there, and I know your struggle is different from me, and my term struggle is also different as well. But then at the end of the day, really take this process seriously, sincerely, to pick the people that who have the willingness to stay with you until the end of the term. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy the session. I'm sorry for the delay. Bon voyage, all the best for your LCP experience. I think that is one of the most exciting experience in ISAC as well. Thank you so much, guys. Do you guys want to take pictures before we leave? Okay, I don't know why recently I like to